At this point, the story surrounding Common and Tiffany Haddish has become one of those Hollywood relationship stories that refuses to completely disappear. Years after their romance ended, their names still find their way into interviews, headlines, social media conversations, and celebrity gossip discussions. But what exactly keeps bringing this relationship back into the spotlight? There have been plenty of rumors and opinions surrounding Common's dating history, his breakup with Tiffany, and the things Tiffany herself has said publicly about their relationship. However, it is important to separate confirmed information from speculation. Some of the claims discussed online have never been independently established as facts. One person who has made particularly strong public allegations about Common and other celebrities is singer Jaguar Wright. Wright has made controversial statements about Common and John Legend, including claims about their sexuality and their personal relationships. Those statements are her allegations and opinions. Wright has also made broader claims about Common's relationships with women, suggesting that he does not genuinely care about Black women and that some of his relationships may be connected to image or status. That brings us back to Tiffany Haddish. According to the reports and online discussions surrounding the former couple, Common has allegedly become frustrated with how frequently their past relationship continues to be discussed. Some reports claim he believes Tiffany has had difficulty leaving the relationship in the past. But there is another side to the story. Tiffany has repeatedly explained that the breakup affected her deeply because she did not experience the ending in the same way Common described it publicly. Common and Tiffany first met while working on the 2019 movie The Kitchen. Their professional relationship eventually became romantic, and for a while, the couple appeared happy together. Tiffany even spoke positively about the relationship and described it as one of the best relationships she had experienced. From her perspective, however, the relationship seemed to be moving in one direction while Common may have already been reconsidering it. Eventually, Common announced that the relationship had ended. He explained that their schedules and different priorities had made things difficult and described the breakup as a mutual decision. That description reportedly caught Tiffany completely off guard. In an interview with Jason Lee, Tiffany explained that she did not consider the breakup mutual. She said she had been happy in the relationship and believed Common had already made up his mind that their romance was finished. For Tiffany, that distinction mattered. She felt that the public explanation did not completely represent what had happened between them privately. She also discussed how she had noticed changes before the breakup. According to her account, Common had stopped inviting her to certain important events that she believed she should have attended as his girlfriend. Looking back, she interpreted those changes as signs that he was emotionally pulling away. Eventually, after almost 2 years together, the relationship ended through a phone conversation. Tiffany said Common essentially told her that he believed their relationship had reached its natural end. For someone who believed the relationship was going well, hearing those words was painful. Tiffany also opened up about something much more personal, her fear of abandonment. She described herself as a positive person who wanted to experience life with a partner, but she admitted that she had spent so much of her life alone that she had become accustomed to people leaving. That vulnerability caused many people to sympathize with her. Whatever someone thinks about Tiffany's personality or public behavior, her comments made it clear that the breakup was emotionally significant for her. After the relationship ended, however, the story did not completely disappear. Tiffany continued discussing Common in interviews and public conversations from time to time. Some viewers interpreted certain comments as subtle criticism, especially after Common began dating Jennifer Hudson. That created another wave of online speculation. Some fans began wondering whether Common was becoming frustrated by the continued attention surrounding his former relationship with Tiffany. There were also online claims that he had allegedly complained privately about Tiffany continuing to mention him. But those reports have not been independently confirmed, so they should be treated as gossip rather than established fact. At the same time, Tiffany has certainly had several moments throughout her career that have generated enormous public attention. One example involved comments she made joking about collecting photographs of men's private parts from dates. The story became widely discussed because of how unusual and unexpected the confession sounded. There was also a viral moment involving Shakira at the MTV Video Music Awards. Tiffany loudly tried to get Shakira's attention, creating a chaotic and humorous clip that spread across social media. Some viewers saw the moment as classic Tiffany Haddish humor. Others thought it was awkward. Either way, it became another example of how quickly Tiffany's public moments can turn into major online conversations. But her controversies have not all been humorous. Tiffany and comedian Aries Spears were previously involved in a lawsuit filed by siblings who used the pseudonyms John Doe and Jane Doe. The lawsuit contained serious allegations concerning comedy videos made when the siblings were minors. According to the allegations, the children were brought to a location under the impression that they were going to auditions. The lawsuit claimed that they were instead involved in comedy material that the plaintiffs later described as inappropriate. The allegations received significant public attention. However, because these were allegations made in litigation, they should not automatically be treated as established facts. The legal dispute was later resolved, and the matter should be understood within that legal context rather than through social media speculation. There have also been other disputes and accusations involving Tiffany over the years. One woman publicly accused Tiffany of encouraging her to enter the adult entertainment industry and later reporting her to immigration authorities after a personal dispute. Tiffany has publicly addressed portions of that situation, but conflicting accounts have circulated. These controversies help explain why Tiffany has remained such a frequent subject of celebrity headlines. Her memoir, The Last Black Unicorn, also generated controversy. In the book, Tiffany discussed an unnamed former husband and described a difficult relationship involving serious accusations. Although she did not initially identify the man by name, William Stewart, her former husband, argued that readers could identify him because he was the only man she had married. Stewart later challenged parts of her account legally, arguing that the memoir contained false statements about him. The dispute involved conflicting versions of deeply personal events, including Tiffany's account of a pregnancy and its aftermath. Again, those competing claims should be treated as allegations and disputed accounts rather than simple, proven facts. Tiffany's memoir also included other stories about relationships, including one particularly dramatic story involving an ex-boyfriend whom she said had cheated on her and recorded an intimate video with another woman. According to Tiffany's own account, she pretended she wanted to reconcile, went to his home, and returned a pair of his Air Jordans with an unpleasant surprise hidden inside. She also claimed that copies of the private video were sent to members of his family. Some readers viewed the story as outrageous humor. Others considered it excessive. But it certainly contributed to the larger public image surrounding Tiffany Haddish, outspoken, unpredictable, and willing to discuss extremely personal experiences in public. And that brings us back to the question surrounding Common. Could a relationship with someone who regularly makes headlines become difficult after the romance ends? Some people believe the answer is yes. Others argue that Common should not automatically be portrayed as the completely detached or innocent person in every breakup story. After all, Common has had a long history of high-profile relationships, and each one has contributed to the public's fascination with his personal life. So perhaps the real story is more complicated than simply saying Tiffany cannot move on. Maybe she is still trying to explain her side of a breakup that she believes the public misunderstood. And maybe Common simply has a different philosophy when it comes to ending relationships and discussing them publicly. That difference in communication may be one of the biggest reasons this particular breakup continues to generate conversation. But the story doesn't end there. When you look at Common's dating history, it becomes easier to understand why his romantic life has remained such a popular subject among fans. Over the years, Common has been connected to several well-known women in entertainment. His relationships have included prominent names from music, acting, sports, and television. One of his earlier public relationships was with Kim Jones, with whom he shares a daughter. The relationship eventually ended, and Common continued his life and career. From 2000 to 2002, he was involved with Erykah Badu. Their relationship became especially memorable because the two also collaborated musically. Later, Common was linked to actress Taraji P. Henson. That relationship was kept relatively private compared with some of his later romances. He was also romantically connected to tennis legend Serena Williams and political commentator Angela Rye. Over the years, there have been additional reports and rumors connecting Common with other well-known figures. Some of those stories were confirmed, while others remained speculation. That distinction is important because celebrity dating rumors can easily become accepted as facts simply because they are repeated often enough online. Still, the overall pattern has led some people to question why Common has had so many high-profile relationships that eventually ended. Is he simply someone who has not found a long-term romantic match? Does his career make commitment more difficult? Or is the public simply paying more attention because of the famous people involved? There is no definitive answer. Some critics have joked that Common moves from relationship to relationship without settling down. Others believe he is simply a person who prefers to leave relationships respectfully when he realizes they are no longer working. One thing that has stood out about Common's public approach to breakups is his tendency to speak respectfully about former partners. Rather than publicly attacking them, he has often emphasized what he learned from the relationship, personal growth, love, and the positive qualities of the woman he was with. For some fans, that approach makes Common appear mature and emotionally intelligent. For others, it raises another question. Does his calm public presentation tell the entire story? Of course, nobody outside the relationship can know what happens privately between two people. And that is exactly why the Common and Tiffany situation remains so interesting. Tiffany did not present the breakup in the same way Common did. While Common described it as a mutual decision influenced by circumstances such as busy schedules, Tiffany said she felt blindsided and believed the decision had primarily come from him. Those are two very different experiences of the same breakup, and both can exist from the perspective of the people involved. One person can believe that a relationship has gradually reached its end, while the other person can feel completely unprepared for that conclusion. That doesn't necessarily mean one person is lying. It can simply mean that they experience the relationship differently. However, once those different versions become public, fans naturally choose sides. Some people believe Tiffany has talked about Common too many times. They argue that if the relationship ended years ago, continuing to bring it up only keeps an old chapter alive. Other fans sympathize with Tiffany and believe she has the right to discuss her own experiences. They argue that Common was allowed to explain the breakup publicly, so Tiffany should also be allowed to explain how she experienced it. This is where the conversation becomes much more complicated. Is talking about an ex automatically a sign that someone cannot move on? Not necessarily. People process relationships differently. Some people never discuss their breakups. Others write songs about them. Some speak to friends privately. Others talk openly in interviews. For a comedian like Tiffany Haddish, humor and storytelling are also part of her career. Personal experiences can become material, and audiences may not always know where the boundary between entertainment and genuine emotion exists. That may be one reason why her comments about Common continue to attract attention. Another reason is Jennifer Hudson. Once Common became romantically involved with Jennifer Hudson, fans naturally began comparing the two relationships. Jennifer Hudson and Common quickly became one of the most discussed celebrity couples, and their public appearances fueled constant speculation about their relationship. That inevitably brought Common's previous relationship with Tiffany back into the conversation. Fans started asking whether Tiffany was bothered by Common moving on. Others wondered whether Common was happier in his new relationship. But those are questions only the people involved can truly answer. Online discussions have also produced much more extreme theories about Common's private life. Some have repeated claims made by public figures, such as Jaguar Wright. However, those claims remain unverified and should not be presented as fact. The same applies to rumors about Common's sexuality, alleged private relationships, or supposed behind-the-scenes behavior. Celebrity gossip can be entertaining, but repeating an accusation does not make it true. The most reliable information in this story comes from what the people involved have actually said publicly and what is supported by documented events. And based on those public accounts, the clearest disagreement remains the breakup itself. Common characterized the split as mutual. Tiffany strongly disagreed. That difference alone is enough to explain why the relationship has remained a topic of conversation. Tiffany's comments about feeling abandoned also add an emotional layer to the story. She explained that she had become accustomed to being alone and expected people to eventually leave. That statement suggests that the breakup may have touched something deeper than the end of a romantic relationship. For someone who already carries fears about abandonment, losing a partner can feel much bigger than simply ending a relationship. It can reinforce old emotional patterns. That doesn't mean Tiffany should be judged by those feelings. At the same time, Common also has the right to decide when a relationship no longer works for him. That is why reducing the entire situation to a simple villain and victim story may not be fair. Both people may have experienced the same relationship in completely different ways. And perhaps that is the most important lesson from this entire celebrity saga. Relationships are rarely as simple from the inside as they look from the outside. Fans see photographs, interviews, red carpet appearances, social media posts, and carefully selected public statements. They do not see the private conversations. They do not hear every disagreement. They do not know what was discussed before the breakup. And they certainly cannot know everything that happened behind closed doors. So when rumors claim that Common is secretly angry with Tiffany, or that Tiffany is secretly obsessed with Common, those claims should be treated cautiously unless the people involved confirm them. What we do know is that their relationship ended. We know Common and Tiffany described that ending differently. We know Tiffany publicly expressed hurt over how the breakup was characterized. And we know the relationship continues to attract attention whenever either person's romantic life becomes part of the news cycle. That may continue for years. Common has moved forward with his career and personal life. Tiffany has continued building her career as an actress, comedian, and entertainer. Whatever happened privately between them, both have continued working and living their lives in the public eye. So, is Tiffany still holding on to the past? Or is she simply refusing to let her side of the story disappear? Is Common simply someone who prefers to keep breakups peaceful and private? Or are there parts of these relationships that the public will never know? Those questions remain unanswered. And perhaps they should remain that way. Because sometimes the most honest conclusion is that outsiders simply don't have enough information to know what happened behind the scenes. What do you think? Do you believe Tiffany Haddish has discussed her relationship with Common too much? Or do you understand why she continues to talk about a breakup that clearly affected her? And what about Common's version of the story? Do you think his calm approach makes him look mature? Or do you think fans should hear more about what happened from his perspective? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.